What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Onney, the CEO. And I'm back with another week, another fire segment. And I was very, very intentional about this segment because the young man that I have coming up on this show, he's raw, he's a great storyteller, and he's from the Mo, babe. So I need you guys to buckle up your seatbelts because you're now plugged in, tuned in, tapped in to Outside the Box. I want to thank all our viewers and all our listeners for following up and tuning in to another week. This week, I have one of Mo City's on that's doing big for the city in a major way. So I want you guys to give it up for none other than K.A.Y.O, the Konspiracy.
Yes, love. I appreciate it.
Man, listen, we've been talking in circles. I've been wanting to get you on the show for a while now. But even then, since our first conversation about talking about you having on the show, you still have made major leaps and bounds and doing things that are just astronomical. So I know who you are. I'm familiar with who you are and what you do. But for those that are listening, and of course those at home that are watching, can you tell us who you are and what you do?
My pleasure. Yo, I'm the kid with Steve's, K.A.Y.O the Konspiracy, Mr. 1000. I sold 1,000 CDs in the street independently. You might see me at Walmart. You might see me at Target. You might see me at your local mall. But I'm Mr. K.A.Y.O. They call me K.A.Y.O the Konspiracy from Mo City. You did.
So, Mr. K.A.Y.O the Konspiracy, what is it that you do? I know you do music, right? But you do music in a different type of way. So, how would you describe your form of music?
So, I'm a authentic hip hop person. So like I grew up heavily on hip hop, from the KRS-Ones, from the Slick Ricks to the Dr. Dre's to the Snoop Dogg's, the Tupacs, and so on and so forth. So I'm real in tune with like lyricism and the whole writing aspect of it. I've always loved storytelling, and I always wanted to live out hip hop. You feel me? 'Cause I know hip hop is the lifestyle and rapping is what we do. So it always been a part of me since I was a child. My father always used to tell me that my first words was OPP, the song by Naughty by Nature. So he was like, "This is the first time I ever heard you rap, son." And I was like, "Man, that's crazy." And now I'm on this whole journey and this whole scape of just living out what I always wanted to do.
That's amazing. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Mo City. I'm originally from D.C., but I moved down here when I was 3 years old.
So, yeah, it really counts where you came up at, yeah?
That's where I'm from.
And that's from
Mo City.
Okay,
Mo City.
Where the girls are pretty.
Mo City, where the girls so pretty. I know the slogan. I grew up in Mo City. I grew up on both sides of the Mo. I grew up on 2234. And I also grew up on the South Post Oak side as well.
Okay. Yeah, I was Ridgemont and Bradgate.
Ridgemont, so I stayed in Quail Bridge Lane.
Okay.
So I stayed up over there in that area. That's right there by Ridgemont or whatever. I went to McCullough. I had some nice experiences in McCullough. That's really what really pushed me forward to actually doing the rapping from my childhood best friend. He the one that actually gave me my name, K.A.Y.O, which stands for Kill All Your Opponents. Cause he used to have me trying to battle.
Yeah. We're gonna go over that one more time. Tell me the acronym.
Kill all your opponents.
Okay, we didn't want to just breeze over there. Carry on.
So yeah, he really got me enthused with rapping or whatever because he used to have me battling the other kids at school. This one we used to just freestyle off the head.
That was back in the day when you'd be in the lunchroom. Did you go to the
Ridge?
Lunchroom?
I didn't go to the Ridge.
Okay.
I went to. I had to move back with my granny because my mom had gotten incarcerated again. And then I had went to Elkins. I'm about to say LC. I went to Elkins or whatnot. And that's where I graduated from. So
well, I remember the days with the beatboxing on the table. Maybe I'm a little bit before your time, but
still,
we were freestyle in the lunchroom, man. It was the good old days.
You had the little ciphers, everybody in a circle. Who was going to be the dopest?
Before I was a poet.
My story different. I started writing poetry first, then I started rapping.
Yeah, but it's all the same.
It's all the same. It's one the same.
So, before you stepped out on music, what was life like for you?
Man, I did the typical 9 to 5. Not happy every job. Most of my jobs I got fired from. It's just oppression. That's how I view it. It's just oppression. You know what I'm saying? You can't be free like how you want to. Around 2020, that's when I was like, I got furloughed from my job, and I was like, man, I ain't coming back. Then I started selling my CDs door to door. That's when I dropped my very first album called Conflicted Addictions. My song Bad Man is on there. That actually got picked up by the UFC fighter Juan Adams. It's his entrance music. And from there, I just started really just getting out there and just selling CDs hand in hand.
Now, you said you were selling your CDs door to door.
Door
what
to
does
door.
that look like?
So
like,
door to door.
I mean, I know how it sounds, but tell me from your experience, what was that like?
Man, it was better than what I thought it was going to be. So what I did was, at my old job, I worked at NTB for like a bit. I had picked up another job to sell electricity, but we had to go door to door. So what I did was I just picked up what they did, what their routine was, and I quit a week later. And I just put that with what I do already with rapping and going door to door with CDs. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. I just started knocking on people's doors. It's like, yo, my name is such and such. I'm selling my albums. Before I try to sell you my album, I'm gonna rap for you. And this one sister, she's in Mo City. She actually recorded me on her Ring, and when she recorded me on the Ring, it went viral. And it just took off from there.
Yeah.
And now it's all I really do. Most cases.
Well, I love it. I love it. So all that work you put in is definitely winning season, and so I want to give our listeners and our viewers a chance to see your video winning. Let's check it out.
Let's go.
Chill.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. I walk the streets in peace and I'm never strapped.
Yeah.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. And I know it makes you sick to see a black man winning. Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. I walk the streets in peace and I'm never strapped.
Chill.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick.
Yeah.
And I know it makes you sick to see a black man winning.
The 13th Amendment was never meant for us niggas. They brought the private properties and sent us to prisons. Draw guns on us and openly beat us senseless. Ronald Reagan was like Satan, his name was 666. That's why I say fuck him and every prayer's before him. J. Edgar Hoover, the FBI reform. The United Nations, Novos Ordo Supreme. They fear the black race and pray to put us in soil. How we the biggest threat with the least in resources. Brainwashing us with rap and all these Christian churches. I ain't turning cheeks, I'm Malcolm X with my approach. Like the 92 riots, leave the city up in smoke. I'm on Paramount Rock, watching the pilgrims ride. If I could, I'd kill Columbus, no more black victims shot. Fuck Capitol Hill, when the Capitol kill for capital still. Cappers till the caps get peeled, for real.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. I walk the streets in peace and I'm never strapped.
Yeah.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. And I know it makes you sick to see a black man winning. Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. I walk the streets in peace and I'm never strapped.
Chill.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick.
Yeah.
And I know it makes you sick to see a black man winning.
The covenant with Yah, one we wasn't meant to break. We worshipped other gods, which turned us into slaves. They shipped us out abroad and put pork on our dinner plates. Made our lives extra hard and forced us to integrate. Took fathers out the home and made it real hellhead. Made our women independent but rely on welfare. Now the kids are super predators. America just a jail to us. In the land of terror, terrorists won't drop a tear for us. Tear gas maybe, but we on a different tier. Instead of tearing up, we might as well tear shit up. Ha! They want savages, then we will give them savages and force our reparations, kill them all and won't salvage shit. A nation of millions is what I'm about to rebuild. Public enemy number one, who they seek still. It's a war outside, no man is safe from. That's why I'm peeping out of my blinds until that day comes.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. I walk the streets in peace and I'm never strapped.
Yeah.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. And I know it makes you sick to see a black man winning. Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick. I walk the streets in peace and I'm never strapped.
Chill.
Tick tock, tick, things are getting thick.
Yeah.
And I know it makes you sick to see a black man winning.
Man, love to see a black man
Winning.
And speaking of winning, you recently put on a show at Deluxe Theater, Cinema 6. It was a huge event. It brought out artists from all walks of life. It was a very diverse crowd that you were able to bring together.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that, how it made you feel to see your idea actually flourish, something that you manifested from within you.
Right.
Tell me about Cinema 6 for those that were not able to make it.
So Cinema 6, first and foremost, is my latest album called Cinema 6. It's an old movie theater that used to stand in the heart of Mo City off of 2234. And I just really want to give back to the city, to the Mo. And I was like, man, I got to do something big for this. So originally I was going to do my festival called the Mo City Fest, but I had some run-ins with finances or whatever, so I had to delay the album and I had to delay the festival. So I was like, you know what? It's about time now. So I dropped the album and then I was like, it's time for the show. So what I did was I grabbed some of my favorite artists that I've worked with that's on the album, and some that I want to work with that's in the future. And I was like, man, we're going to put together the show. So I put together the show. I went to the streets. I was in the streets every day selling tickets, hand to hand, every day selling tickets. My blood, my heart, my sweat, and my tears went into that whole project. And then I put a movie together, an animated short film for it as well that I wanted to have premiered at the event. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I want to keep the concept going. What's a good concept to use? Get an actual theater. So that's when I came in contact with Deluxe Theater. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And then I wanted to bring my grandmother out because it was her very first time ever going to a rap show, a hip-hop show. It was her first time ever seeing me perform. And I was like, this is the moment. Because I got a song on my album called Soul Food. So every song on the album is named after a movie, a historical black movie. So I had put Soul Food on the album and I had performed it. That was my first time seeing her in the crowd, and it was her first time seeing me on stage, and it was a surreal moment.
I was going to just say, how did that make you feel? Because, you know,
really
tears. Deep down, that's what we do it for. You know what I'm saying? We want our parents and our grandparents to be able to see us do things that they dreamed of. You know what I'm saying? To show them that we actually live outside the box. Outside the box, that's what we do, baby. We pop out of it. We pop out that thing. Listen. So how did you, now I know, like you said, you pulled the Cinema 6 concept from Mo City. Now I know I used to be a Cinema 6 girl. My mom would drop me off and pick me up. You know what I'm saying? I saw Friday the 13th at Cinema 6 on 2234. So those that know, you know what I mean? Right. So what, outside of, like, how did you come up with the whole concept of, let me just name it Cinema 6, let me put this theater action together? Because you literally had the props set up like theater props, even the DJ. It was just, everything was so just thought out. Were you your own creative director on that? Yeah, I was my own creative director. So this is not my first event I threw. My first event I ever threw was called the Artist Sex Show. It's from one of my songs from my first album. So I like concepts. Like, if you listen to my albums, you can pay attention to my albums real closely and you'll see that it's a whole concept. Whether it's Cinema 6, whether it's my Blackface album, or whether it's my Conflicted Addictions album, they all fit within concept. So what I said to myself was, I haven't done nothing personally about myself or my childhood yet. So this is what this album was going to be about, the happy times that I had when I was a kid, and the people that really meant the most to me. So bringing that all together and then bringing the event together, you know, it really brought tears to my eyes. I cried on stage. I cried twice on stage when I performed Soul Food. My granny, me and her just having that moment. You know, we both, I feel like DMX. You know, DMX the only artist I know who actually cried on stage, you know, from prayer. So I was like, man, this is that moment. Yeah. And I had some super dope talent with me too. You know, I had Dogs to the Problem, I had Rashard Miller, I had D.O.D. Doug, I had Rob Gillette, I had Jabri Riel, I had Amanda Cherie, I had a whole bunch of artists, Rosie Bush, and they all just executed. And we was able to put on one of the best shows to me personally that has come out of Houston in a long time. That's what's up. And there was another host, I want to say her name right. Is it Zangaletia?
Zay, I call her Zay.
She go by Zay.
Shouts out to Zay.
Shout out to Zay. Let me tell you, that little baby, I met her maybe about 1.5 years ago. She got so much drive.
She's motivated.
And I was so proud to see her covering your red carpet.
I was, man.
So
she was a big highlight of the
I just want to take a moment in my show to give her flowers.
She need them
during your interview.
Shouts out to Zay.
Shouts out to Zay. Y'all make sure y'all find her. I'm gonna find a way to put her in the comment section.
We gonna put her in the comments. We gonna tag in the video.
Yeah, we gonna do all of that so you guys know where to find her, because she is also doing major things in Houston and she's hungry as well.
She did the write up on the Cinema 6 show, and it's one of the best write ups I've had.
Yeah.
It's one of the best. I put it right up there with the magazine coverage I've had as well. Like she did a very phenomenal job.
I'm proud of her.
Yeah, I'm proud of her.
I'm
too.
an auntie in my head.
We all family, you know.
You know what I'm saying? I love her. So y'all, if y'all don't know, y'all go look her up, because she did an awesome write up on the Cinema 6 show. She did awesome red carpet coverage, and if you weren't at the show, you almost felt as if you were there. So shouts out to her for doing her thug fizzle on the red carpet. Okay. Now, I also want to ask you, like, your support system. Do you have a support team? Are you signed to a label? Hire ENT. What is that?
So High ENT it stands for Hip Hop is Real Entertainment. It's a label and a brand that me and my best friend and my business partner put together when we was in our early 20s, sat at the table. We've had a few artists come on board with us, and we had some leave. The one who's been with us the longest is Rosie Bush. We still have Prince Easy with us as well, and we have a newest act named Sasha Lee. It was really something I wanted to build on our own, because I didn't like the industry standard of what labels were. So I feel like when you partner with artists, that's what it's supposed to be, a partnership. It's not supposed to be a slave contract. It's not supposed to be a slave deal. I always understood that, you need these artists as well. You feel me? Because I'm an artist myself, so I always think with my artist mind when I'm dealing with artists as well. Like, this is what we need to do. This is what we can do on our own to get to where we want to be. We don't need this, that, and the third. We don't need to be put in debt to get here. We can do this ourselves, So that's what me and my business partner came up with, and really that's my only support system.
Okay. But sometimes, it's not the quantity, it's the quality.
Well, I take that back, because I meet a lot of people in the streets, and a lot of people in the streets support me. So, like, a lot of people in the streets, they became fans, listeners. They wait for me to drop something. They text me, hey, yo, K.A.Y.O, when you going to drop something new? Or, hey, when's the next event, this, that, and the third? And that's always been something that always kept me going, because I never had that at first, early on in my career. I didn't know how to go out and talk to people. Now, I can talk to anybody. I see everybody as family now. So
you know what I'm saying?
We about to talk. Hopefully you buy something. You don't buy something, it's cool. You ain't got to buy nothing, because we already shared energy. I got your phone number now. You can come to the show.
Yeah, you come to the show. Buy a ticket. Do that. Now get you a drink.
Indeed.
Well, you actually
my
have
signature drink, Perfect Mixture. That's the drink we gonna give y'all.
That part. Now you have another song that is one of my faves called "Bad Man" featuring John Ivory and Jet Finley. Yeah. Before I get into that song, can you tell me?
Her name is Jean Avery, and it's Jet Finley.
Okay, let's get that right. Now, before I go into the video, because I want to premiere the video as well, but can you tell me how that collaboration came about?
So when I was listening to the instrumentals that my producer, LP, also known as Zeke Lopez, he sent it to me. I was like, yo, yeah, this one fire. Me and my business partner was like, yeah, this one fire. That's what we're going to do. And then I was like, I hear a rock sound on here. So I started trying to find me a rock artist. And I came across Jean Avery, and I was like, I reached out. She was enthused to do it. Then me and Jet Finley.
I was going to say, she have a very unique, distinct voice.
She do.
I love it.
She talented.
It fit.
And then me and Jet Finley, we always been cool. He worked on my song Art of Sex with me. Okay. And I was like, man, I feel like this song missing something else. You mind hopping on here for some background vocals? He was like, yeah, man, anything for you, K.A.Y.O. You know what I'm saying? So he did it. We came out with the masterpiece. I met Juan Adams. Juan Adams like, I love the song. It's going to be my entrance song. And we just went from there.
Well, let's get into it. Bad Man.
This is Bad Man, y'all.
I done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick.
First and foremost, you won't find no one more dope than I. Been king since my biblical core broke. Now I'm in between your queen and her throat. If you dare to intervene, I'm ripping your torso. You'll be resting in pieces, no blessings on your soul. Just a whole bunch of feces that's left on your tombstone. Move on if you're bright on smashing your light bulb. You don't wanna fight, cuz y'all fake like Kim's and bitch like her father. Dropping bombs on all y'all in memories of Pearl Harbor. Y'all thinking that you're dope, but really not per product. I'm 100% that leave your jaws numb. These other artists I shouldn't be confused with, cause they lost seeds in me. I'm deeply rooted. When you come from the roots, you just blacken your thoughts. I'm like a blind man with a blindfold, I'm blackening out. I'm like Batman in the black mass in the back of your house. So act Batman, get a backhand, then get bagged and tossed in the black van and smack you until you can't stand. Now that's the definition of beating you bad, man. I don't show these dudes love, but you can catch this jack. If you think he's hardcore, I detach his mask, kill all his alter egos and make his mankind. Put a bullet to his brain, he's out of his damn mind. For even having the thought that he's as nice as me. Even Jesus Christ would say Christ is righteous, G. In other words, in layman terms, I'm not the get across. Put my verses in the Bible, cause these scriptures are bars. I'm as live as it gets, survive through the pits, walk through a fiery abyss. Muhammad even swung against surprising he missed. So in other words, I'm as bad as it gets. What you thought, not even Jared is touching the kid. I'm Parvo and lost souls, dog, I'm spiritually sick. The best here, cousin, cause I'm meant to be it. My family been lost their Adams, we been demented. What? I rock your soul, you rock and roll like Ozzy Osbourne and Woodstock shows. I wish you would stop those black. Now swallow hard and take down the whole thing. Bow down to your king or get left in lagoon lost. Bad motherfucker, I don't even moonwalk. Respected or get left out like Janet Jackson boob job. Told you motherfucker, I'm as bad as it gets. A match that is lit, that's only leaving ashes and fight with porcupines, won't leave a scratch on the kids. So you can forfeit your facade or have a face full of fists. Cause you never met someone that's as abrasive as this. What more can I say but you say you know how to live. No, you won't try and listen until it's beating you down, till you're deep in the ground, till you've seen what I've seen. And I've got no sympathy for the feelings of the weak. You never know where I stand till you see through the eyes of a bad. And I'm tired of living a lie. The nights that I cried, I wanted to die inside. It's a new generation. And I'm tired of living a lie. The nights that I cried, I wanted to die inside. It's a new generation inside. Man, that's a dope piece right there.
Appreciate
Tell us what we have to look forward to from K.A.Y.O.
So what y'all got what y'all got to look forward to from me is Cinema 6. We trying to turn it into a tour. So we trying to take that on the road. Y'all got more albums coming from me. Y'all got my EP that's going to drop. That's an extension of Cinema 6 called Trailers. I'm gonna drop that later on this year. We got music videos coming. We just got a whole lot of madness coming that y'all need to just come be a part of. You know, high entertainment, baby. We in the building.
Now, I would be amiss if I forgot to ask you about this. Your billboard out there in Georgia.
Georgia?
Let's talk about that just for a second. How you know, you have this whole movement where people could like pass by the billboard, take a picture of it, hashtag, like come on.
Right.
Tell me like the little story behind that. How did it happen? How does it make you feel? And how just
So
all
with
of
the,
that.
with the
good stuff.
billboard, man, it just came with the hard work, the dedication. My PR put that in place for me, and now you know I'm outside of the school,
Yeah.
the school in Georgia, and it's really a surreal moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just this year has been just so many different things coming for me. The show, my grandma seeing me on stage, the billboard. That's not even everything that's I have yet in store for myself. And I'm just honored and blessed and grateful that people believe in me, people want to follow me, and they want to see me in this elevated state. You feel me?
Right.
So like, just that alone is everything to me. You know, and me being on the billboard is just another blessing. You know, and if you see the billboard, take a picture of it. Hashtag Cinema 6. That's all you gotta do. You know, so I might give you a free shirt if you send me the picture. But that's really what it's all about for me now. It's just making sure I can help motivate the next person and show you that it's able to be done.
Yeah, I love it. That's what being on Outside the Box is all about, is having people that are passionate about whatever their walk is on their journey and doing it loud, proud, with the chest out, and doing it outside the box. So for those that are listening and watching, tell us. Now you have multiple social media platforms. Your Instagram is
Hire
K.A.Y.O.
HIRE-K.A.Y.O.
Y'all make sure y'all go and hit that follow button.
Or you can just simply Google me.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
You can also find them for our, our older crowd that want to be tuned in and tapped in. Y'all going over to Facebook. He also have a page, Corey Knight, but you can also put in K.A.Y.O the Conspiracy.
Yeah, you can find me on
It'll
my
still
personal
bring it
page
there.
for my personal info, or you can go to K.A.Y.O the Conspiracy, the artist page.
On
whatnot,
Facebook as well. And he also has a Twitter page.
I have Twitter. I'm rarely on Twitter, but it's HIREKAYO_. You can find me there
Yes.
as well.
But when you do release new content, you release it on your YouTube page.
I release on my YouTube. I release on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, my website. I'm everywhere. The website is www.hir-ent.com. My clothing website is www.clothinghobo.com.
If you like
Hobo.
the videos that we played in this segment, be sure you go back to his page, hit that subscribe button, click the bell notification so you can be notified when he drop his new project.
Indeed.
Also be aware that Outside the Box with Onney is on multiple platforms. We're not just on YouTube. We're also on Hip Hop Streets. We're also on Third Coast TV, Spotify, Google Play, Anchor, iTunes, SoundCloud, Himalaya, iHeartRadio, wherever you can find a streaming podcast, we are there. But do me a solid, follow the journey with Outside the Box with Onney by going to our YouTube page and clicking that subscribe button, clicking that bell notification so you can be notified when we drop a new segment. We have over 113 episodes, so if you're just catching on, feel free to catch up. I want to thank you, K.A.Y.O, for just coming,
Man,
letting me get all in your business.
All in the box.
Man.
Just the bust out of it, you did.
Just all of that. And I want to thank our viewers and our listeners for continuously following the movement. I also want to give a special shout out and thank you to our sponsors. Shout out to Swan Isle Sea Moss, where you can get your sea moss or your fruit-infused sea moss beverages as well. Swan Isle. Follow them on social media, SWANNISLE, and order your sea moss and beverages today. Well, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I'm reminding you guys that we are in the same place, the same time, every week. So make sure you stay plugged in, tuned in, and tapped in. Is there anything you want to say to our listeners and watchers before we go out?
Yes. Make sure y'all follow my DJ, Yams G, the DJ. He's on 97.9 The Box. He's everywhere. You can find him. Make sure y'all follow my DJ. Make sure you follow me. And make sure y'all stay tuned for what we have in store. And make sure y'all always stay outside the box. Peace.
And there you have it. I'm your girl, Onney the CEO. You're now plugged in, tuned in, tapped in to Outside the Box.
Let's go.